You're listening to For Better and Worse with Jess and Rach.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
We're on.
Okay.
We back. All right, coming at you live from Rach's childhood bedroom. This is For Better and Worse with Rach and Jess. I'm Jess.
And I'm Rach.
And we out here.
Okay, can I tell you already? I'm self-conscious because I've noticed while editing the videos, I've been doing this, and my socks are always...
So I saw someone commented like, nice pups or something.
Someone said nice pups?
Yes, like you're referring to your feet.
Oh.
You were wearing like just like white socks.
Yeah, but they're always a little dirty.
They didn't look dirty, but...
Okay, but that's what I'm self-conscious about, so maybe we won't
keep them tucked.
Do the red leg rest, because we got... Yeah, nice caked in dog hair.
Well,
it
is shedding season.
Ugh, I need to take Barley to the groomer. I've never done that before.
Never.
No.
Well,
I'm a trash dog parent. Now I'm like, will she be scarred for life? Will she be afraid?
She doesn't shed too bad, though.
I think she sheds more than we think. I think there might be an undercoat situation happening.
Got it.
I also don't think so. This mic is close enough to me. Okay, maybe that's better. Okay. But yeah, so... But you got huskies, so...
I do have... Dude, that's a perfect segue into my story, into the stupid fight of the week. It involves my two lovely huskies. As you dog parents know, the snow was melted, okay? And the poop, if you have a fenced-in backyard, the poop that has accumulated over the winter has been risen to the surface, and it has been made very aware of our attention. And yeah, so we saw this happen. We saw all this poop happen, and they decided they pooped in the same spot all winter long, which is good for us, but not. So I looked out the window and I saw it, and I was like, wow, this is a serious issue. And Joe's been working on the yard, so he's like, yeah, I know, Jess, but the snow just melted, so everything is just wet. Like, I can't even pick it up. I'm like, we have to do something. My dad's coming over. Like, he's going to think...
And your dad coming over is the ultimate stress, panic clean.
It ain't good. My dad is also my landlord. So when he comes over, it's not just to have dinner with us. It's to do work on the house and to inspect every inch, of our house. So it's never great. So anyway, so we go, I'm like, you know what, I'll help him. He looks a little frustrated out there. He doesn't do well with poop to begin with. So I was like, you know what,
I really have no idea where the story's going, and I'm afraid.
Okay, so I see that he's getting flustered. So I'm like, okay, cool. He doesn't have a great system going. So I'm like, okay. And he's like, I think I'm going to go pick up like a pooper scooper. Like, I think that's the only way. I was like, no, put some gloves on. Let's just handle it.
Oh my God.
And so I go out there and I get like these gloves on. I'm like, I really think if you just like hold a garbage bag and I scoop it up and I'll plop it in there, and that's how we'll go.
Plop it in there moment.
It was so bad. I mean, I'm sorry if this is TMI, but the poop was it was just so much water. So it was not solid. Nothing was solid, but I'm talking like a mound of poop. And so anyway, so we figured out a nice little system where Joe was scooping it up with a shovel and like tossing it into my hands with a, what's that called? Garbage bag.
Okay.
Like it turned into a game. Like it was, but it was a whole shit show.
Like that. Have you watched Parks and Rec?
I wouldn't know.
There's a scene in season 1 where they just fling dog poop bags at each other, and Leslie gets into it with like the street youths.
The street youth.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of would have looked like that. It looked like and it wasn't like funny. Like we would laugh at times, but Joe was just getting really frustrated, and it was like, he's like, I'm just spreading poop all over the yard, Jess. Like, I'm just making it worse. And I'm like, I don't know. Whatever. We just have to make it look like we made an effort here. So that's what it looked like. It looked like a game of me being like, whoa, like trying to avoid getting hit in the face with shit, and Joe just feeling unproductive in it. But that was a stupid fight of the week for us.
Like, how did it end up? Was it just as
it was a classic case of it'll do. We looked at the yard, and it was like, there's not any more that we can. We'd like torn up the yard, right? So we'd like dug holes through it because you can't pick up the poop itself. It was just lesson learned. We will stay on top of it. But we have a fenced-in backyard, so when we take our dogs out, we're just like, yeah, go do your thing. We don't know when they do it. So like other dog owners kind of like walk their dogs, and then they poop that and they pick it up and dispose of it. So this was a lot.
This is months worth.
This is a whole winter's worth.
Ooh,
It was so
the
bad.
winter's load.
The winter's load times 2, so 2 dogs. So it was atrocious. But
And also, speaking of your dog, we're recording on a Tuesday. Usually it's Wednesday because Olive
is starting
going to school.
She's going to school. Oh, I'm so happy for her. Yeah, she sucks at recall, and she's got a lot to learn about walking. She's a husky, so she pulls naturally. And I just never could get it under control. So I'm so excited. She's going to start school. I think she's going to thrive.
She is.
I
She
think
just needs some
a little extra.
direction.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, from my experience with dog training, a lot of it's training the humans.
Right. Which I'm so excited to learn, though. So we're going to go tomorrow. And I stayed through the whole thing. And basically, it's training both of us, but showing me how to properly train Olive. So hopefully she'll walk like a good old...
And hopefully little Pickle will just take right after her.
Right. Pickle's good. Pickle listens better than Olive, like naturally. So I feel like...
Interesting. Are they different types of huskies?
Could be. I mean, they look like it. They don't look...
The same?
No. Even
Like,
their hair.
All I know about huskies is there's like the husky and then there's the fluffy husky. Husky 2.0.
Yeah, like...
The like round...
Poof ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pickle's like a longer hair, and she's got a real floofy tail, but her hair is not anywhere near Olive. So they both shed equally as much. So don't get it twisted. Shedding season.
What do you do to keep on track with that?
We take them to the groomer because I can't. In the summer, I will like take them to the backyard and just kind of rake it out, rake it up, break it down.
I don't even know what that was.
Nicki Minaj.
Oh, God.
No, sometimes I'll do it, but they do a really good job, and they'll do it for a long time, and they have like, you know, the contraption that keeps them in place. Where I'm just like, here's your peanut butter, and I'm like quickly, like I'm just, it's a hot mess. Like my back, I throw my back out every time. I feel like so. We take them like monthly or whatever. We feel like it gets really bad. So
I know. I feel like I want to, and I should.
I mean, you know, they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
So you know, they're going until they go no more.
Yeah.
We're paying you. So. Whereas I'm just like...
Oh, I know if I ever tried to give Barley a bath, it would just be like hose her down real quick and then very, very quickly give up on the whole thing.
I did say if I ever were to build a house, I would build like wherever the dogs come in from outside, like in my fenced-in backyard, there's a bath, just for the dogs.
Yeah.
That they just kind of walk in easily. The hose is exactly how it would be perfect because... My huskies dig. They get really dirty. The spring's going to be a shit show. Our house already has like paw marks all over because we have hardwood floors.
Oof.
Yeah. And my OCD is just like, ain't good. So that's all right.
All right.
Dog story. Okay.
Dogs.
Rach, what do you got for me? I saw that you brought in a prop. So
it's just to add on the perturbance. I just saw this morning and I said, oh, Josh is F-wording Fitbit. Nowhere on his wrist.
He's not going to wear it.
I should just wear it. I should have 2 Fitbit. No, I won't give his Fit stats the satisfaction. But just...
Way to put him on blast,
but
Rach.
It's
not on his wrist. That's
all
we'll say.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And he went to the gym yesterday and he wasn't wearing it. And I'm just like, there's no point. Like, you know, if you're wearing it at least to the gym, it's like cool. But if you're not wearing it at all.
Yeah, but maybe he doesn't.
Yeah, maybe he lied to me. Maybe he does not want it. You're right. He doesn't
care about the calories burned.
Nor should he.
Right.
But it was just, he just was like, he wanted to watch.
Maybe he wanted like
I knew.
Here's a nice watch. Like a businessman, not digital. Like an analog guy.
No, because it's like he wanted like the text notifs, all that. I don't know. I thought
Take it up with him, Rach. What does he say?
He's just like, oh, just keep losing it. Keep forgetting it. I'm sorry. So I can't get mad. Just the perturbance.
I understand.
I try not to nag. I'm like, whatever. It's your watch, not mine.
Because yours is slapped on your wrist. Never comes off.
I live for a watch. I was a Casio bitch for a long time.
Oh wow! Oh my god! What a name drop!
I was like
Casio.
I was that girl at the clubs at the under 21 clubs with my like teeny tiny 2008 suction skirt, and you know the peplum top.
Oh yeah.
Nice Casio. Tie it all together. I had to be the ringleader. I mean, where was I going to put my pocket? I had no pockets for my phone.
Yeah.
You know, so I needed to know the time at all times. Lux was the club in Akron. Might still be there.
Ooh.
Throwback.
Ooh.
But I had to keep the girls together.
You're breaking it down there.
Oh, yeah. I was like
holding it down in the club.
Oh, yeah. I was the driver. I was the one that we were 18. What were we doing? Trying to be adults.
Yeah. We had one of those. What was that called?
Sketch City.
What was it? Saddle Ridge.
Ew.
What a name drop.
I think the country version of Lux was the Dusty Armadillo.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
And but Lux was another. It was like the girls, all my girlfriends would wear high heels.
Yikes.
And we weren't made for that yet. We like, our feet just stopped growing. We didn't know how to wear high heels yet.
I was looking like a baby giraffe in there.
And I would just be running back to the car to get their flip-flops.
What a mess.
I was a mess, but whatever. That was my style. Never forget. Oh, and can't forget the statement necklace. You remember those?
Oh my, yeah. The bigger the better. Chandelier hanging right from your neck. The bigger the better. But the louder, the danglier,
the most colorful.
Ooh, that makes me cringe.
It was a bad style. That's why, like, the other day I was at a wedding, and the people at my table were like shitting on Gen Z, telling us they're like, you can't tell us that our fashion's not cute. They can have theirs, but and I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. We're almost 30. We don't decide anymore. We don't decide what's cute anymore. We don't decide what's in.
Hey, if it wasn't for us, you guys wouldn't be rocking what you're rocking right now.
Right.
Okay?
But also,
we rocked that in the 90s. We had that style.
But I'm just like, if they decide that a side part's out, it's out. You can still wear it.
Yeah, it's true.
We didn't stop our parents from teasing their hair up to the ceiling.
I heard something, and I haven't been the same since.
What?
So, some girl on TikTok was like, this is the Karen version of millennial haircuts.
Oh, no.
And it was mine.
What was it?
It's just like that, like, long bob.
The angled bob.
Yeah, and like not too short. It was like, I don't know how to describe this. Lauren Conrad had it, right? So if that's like the picture that popped up, and I was like, pretty sure I showed that.
But you have a middle part.
I do, but I haven't been the same since. I'm like, they're calling this the Karen haircut of millennials. Like, that is.
I refuse to believe
that's
that.
deep.
I feel like yours is just the Karen haircut. I mean, I'm pretty sure
it stays John and Kate +8.
Yeah,
the Kate, like, that will not change. That
the straight bangs
with the spikies.
Yeah,
that will die as the Karen haircut. So don't try to come and switch it on me.
Right.
I don't wear skinny jeans, so don't. And I got a middle part, so don't come for my Karen haircut.
I wear skinny jeans. I also wear other jeans, but my skinny jeans are comfortable. The other jeans don't give me the give I need.
Yeah, I hear you. Also, wear what you want.
Yeah,
we made you guys, okay? So we recreated
we got
some
animosity.
I do. I feel very attacked. Because I like to think I'm a hip person, so when people come for me and my trendiness, I'm like, no, I'm following suit.
We don't get to decide.
I know. You're right.
We are not the youth anymore.
Youths. We are not the youths.
We are not the youths deciding all the trends.
We are the youth of a nation. You remember that song?
All of your musical.
Mud. Oh my.
All of your music tangents.
Everyone will know.
Puddle of Mud?
Yes. Man. That's a 90s or 2000s throwback. It was good. I'll put my pups up here then.
Yeah. We might just have to rock it. People, I don't
really know.
Let's see. What are your bottoms of your feet? Yeah, see,
Very.
yours are fine.
I mean,
I have, for whatever reason, like white and gray socks, and I wear them out into the garage where like all of like we have like all of our beverages are in the garage. I don't know if any other Midwestern house is like that.
I think every house has a
garage
fridge.
Yeah,
keeps the beers, the good beverages, the sparkling water,
the luxury beverages, the single serve beverages.
Yeah, we need that.
And I just walk out there, and I mean, the floor in the garage hasn't been cleaned ever, so it's just caked on mud. And I just walk out there like I don't care, and I just think you're permanently stained. So is what it is. Is what it is. But my stupid fight of the week, I don't know if it's like a stupid fight. It's like an honest like argument / misunderstanding / agree to disagree situation that we have going on.
Okay.
So Josh plays video games, which is not inherently wrong, but it's something like I've just never gotten used to because I never played video games growing up. Like my one boyfriend from college played video games all the time. But at the time, like my expectations for men was like in hell. So, he just like paid attention to me and that was enough. Like, but that man lived in an alternate dimension. But Josh just like gets on with the boys a few times a week. And this was like Friday night and he's like on with the boys. And like, I guess I just like don't fully understand like how long you can spend doing something like that. And we kind of like, and Josh also like, I love him to death, but like he wants to constantly please everyone in his life. He doesn't like telling his friends that he can't play games. He doesn't like telling me that we can't watch a movie. He just is like, yeah, we'll get to it. And like, for whatever reason, it was like, I was like, well, it's 9 and I'm going to go to bed soon. So like, cause like I had nothing to do. What was I going to stay up for what?
Right.
Like,
for what?
For what? I'm going to do this for what?
For what?
So we're like in the kitchen or something. And maybe I wanted him to help me clean. I don't know what the situation was, but we got into an argument about it. And I was like, all I got to say is like, what you're doing is not inherently wrong because so many people do it. So many people play Call of Duty. I can't assume that that's a wrong thing. It's absolutely our generation, especially boys, like way of bonding with each other and doing things. And it's a way he gets to spend time with his best friend. And I'm like, okay.
Absolutely.
But I'm like, but also I have nothing to compare it to. I don't have any single hobby that like I can't have a conversation with you while I'm doing it. Like if I love watching TV. I just press pause.
Yeah.
Or reading, I just stop reading. Or I'm on my phone and I just put my phone away. Like there's no equivalent to video games for someone that doesn't play them because it's like it's real life play. And I'm like, hey, if I need your attention right now, you can't give it to me. And like you can
he pause the game? Does
No.
it depend on the game?
I'm sure it depends on the game, but like he does like live player games like Call of Duty.
Right.
So if he pauses, he dies basically. And it's just like this thing that's like I don't really know where we go from here. And the way my mom came home, so the way that our fight ended was I ended it on I haven't played Sims since I was 11, so I just don't get it.
But hey, what a time that was. I feel like that's when you know how many hours you lost playing Sims or Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh my God, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I want it so bad. My sister and I just talked about that. We're like, dude, that was satisfaction.
Yeah.
When you would clean up that puke, you're like, oh, I'm on it. Some guy would puke coming off the roller coaster. And I'd be like, oh, no, I got it. Or also when you build your own roller coasters, I'm like, oh, the guests will really love this part of it. They will love this loop. I really did enjoy it. But anyways, no, I understand that. But I guess, like, what is the solution to that? Like, he has certain times where he plays and the expectation of him coming off are not there for you. So it's like, hey, I'm playing all night and you have that and you know that expectation.
Which I think like his Friday night was kind of dedicated to that because we were going to Pittsburgh for Saturday. Mm-hmm. And so, but it's just the like, you can't end the frustration of like, hey, I want to have a conversation with you right now. And I'm not like, it's like we do kind of set parameters. Like when quarantine first started and we moved in with my mom, it was like a problem because like my mom hates video games. Like we weren't allowed to have them.
Also, there were no rules established. Like you guys were just figuring out moving in here and like the flow of things, right? And Josh is probably just like, all I want to do is just kind of be in my own world.
Like he lost his job and was like what the fuck else am I gonna do?
Right.
But when here's also the thing. When we first started dating,
what was it?
So like like when you start dating, you have like a list of things that like your goal list or you're like you want these people to tick these boxes. Not playing video games was on that list, and I had talked to him about it, and he played video games. He was living with his best friend at the time, and they played on Saturdays. They called them Sweaty Saturdays.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like you have a dedicated day for them. Great. And we even like I just never really saw him playing them until we moved in together. And it was like after work, he would like get on his game. I'm like, what's going on? And he says it was the Call of Duty update.
Got him good.
But I don't know. I think I was swindled.
Explain sweaty Saturdays, because when I think of that, I think like swamp ass Saturdays.
Oh,
because you're only sweaty from not moving and sitting in the same spot. So I would.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I would equivalent to swamp ass Saturday.
I think it's also just like they're perspiring because like the adrenaline's so hot in the game.
Oh, the game is hot. The game is hot.
I mean, it's not an attractive thing to imagine.
Hey, it's his out. It's his out.
You know, and that's the thing.
He enjoys it.
He enjoys it, but it still frustrates me. And I think it's one of those things. I think there are things in every relationship where you're just like, man, this is going to piss me off forever. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if it's video games, whatever. But, yeah, that was just like, we got in like a fight, but then he kind of apologized. I kind of apologized. We kind of moved on, but it's just, ugh.
I feel that. I feel like if you communicate, hey, this is irritating me. I kind of want, maybe if we don't have time set aside for us, and if that's reciprocated from him, cool. I think that's fine. I feel like in my experience with this video games from an ex, I tried to talk to him about it, and it was like, don't really care, still gonna do it anyways. And I would like sit there with my thumb up my ass, just like watching him, because like we were at his parents' house. So where else am I gonna go?
I know.
It was so bad. So that felt terrible. I remember telling myself, like, I'm going to get up now. I'm going to get up and walk out and see what he does. Because I'm like, what would he care? Because he's just playing his games. But yeah, but it was like, it wasn't reciprocated in my experience. And if he like acknowledges, like, yes, I hear you. I understand how this could be affecting us. So maybe let's figure something out together.
Yeah. It's just hard because it's just this total miscommunication because like I just can't relate.
Right.
I just can't relate to it.
I understand that.
And so like it's just always going to be that thing of like, I don't get it.
Right.
You know, but other than that, you know, he's a great boyfriend. I can't really complain too much.
Not a complaint. Just a perturbance.
Yeah. Another perturbance added to the list. That's
funny. Let's dive into what we're talking about today, which is advice after a breakup.
Yeah.
Kind of getting back on the old horse there.
Yeah. Our tips for... Yeah, when you have gotten out of a relationship and you're pursuing a new one.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. This was
actually like DM'd to us by a listener, and that was always exciting. If you ever have any ideas for episodes, like we come up with them on our own, but this one was really nice that we knew like at least one person really wants to hear about this.
Yeah, for sure. And it was like, we can relate too.
Yeah.
So it was good. And we're excited to talk about it today.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. So I guess I'm just going to preface this whole segment that dating and breakup is highly subjective and is definitely personal experiences. So no two situations are going to be the same, and who's to make up these rules. So, but I do want to say that it depends on three things, in my opinion, is that how serious the relationship was, how long you guys were together, and how bad the breakup was. Those are, I feel like, core
indicators
of how bad, or I don't know. I'm on my period, so I can't talk. I do feel that way. Like when I'm starting my period, my speech just goes like straight out the window.
You're doing great, sweetie. I think I would not have known.
Thanks.
I do this with you every week.
I know.
This hat is
appreciate
causing
you.
My glasses to squeeze into my head.
Cute.
But I need them for my eyes.
They're cute. I like those ones.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I just have a quick question before we go into advice and stuff. How long do we wait? How long do we wait after the breakup to dive back in? To get back on the old horse?
That depends on factors, I think. Because like you can say a number, but there's always going to be someone out there that like, well, actually, I got out of a relationship and 2 weeks later I met this guy at a bar and now we're married and we have 4 kids. And it's like, okay.
If that worked for you, good for you. I did read about the 3-month rule.
Okay.
It's like a standard amount of time that, you know, psychologists, clinicians feel is appropriate that you could get over. But like we said, it's personal. You could be over it because you could have been checked out of that relationship months ago.
Oh yeah.
So
I waited 6 months, like 6 months from leaving my apartment, leaving my husband, to going on my first date.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, like, it was 3 months because the first, like, couple months, my ex and I were, like, working on it or just being like, should we keep going? You know, but it was, like, this very, like, we do, like, monthly check-ins. Like, how do you feel? How do I feel? And, like, it wasn't really going anywhere. But, yeah, I would say, I mean, 3 months does make sense.
Yeah.
I think to me, just, like, as a general rule, like, giving yourself brain space.
Yeah. And I feel like everyone goes through that limbo of, like, are we working on this? Like, it's rocky for, like, what, you know, a few weeks to a month where you're just like, are we sticking this out or are we not?
Right.
You know, or it's not. Or some people comes from left field. So,
Okay.
but I feel like that's subjective as well.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
Josh has this saying that he'll say that he says it's a joke saying, but I'm like, I think you might actually believe it. He's like, best way to get over one is to get under one.
Oh my gosh, do you believe it?
No,
not in my experience. I'm too emotional. I'll get attached to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Immediately.
Yeah, it's why I don't think
you
I could ever have a threesome. It's why I don't think I could ever do that. Like, I would be in love with her immediately.
Couldn't.
Then we'd be a throuple. Then we'd have to figure that whole thing out, which sounds complicated. I don't know if we sound. Yeah. I just am like, I'm sorry. It might be one
that could work. That could work for some, but I also think that's a recipe for disaster.
We can't generalize. I don't know.
Because I don't know. Diving into anything situationship when you're in a bad emotional
situationship,
when you're in a bad like emotional or mental state is just, it's unfair to the other person.
Yeah.
If they're trying to be invested, and I feel like it's just a recipe for disaster and for unhappiness.
Are you saying like threesomes?
No.
Or thruplings?
In neither. I just meant like diving into something that you're not ready for. No, because I would love to bring a throuple on the show and just figure out the dynamic.
If you are part of a throuple, please
reach out. We want to know.
So I think it's
so
an
interesting
dynamic that if it's successful, awesome.
Come talk on the show and tell other people about it because we're all so curious.
I'm lightweight on polyamorous TikTok.
I know you said that.
I find it fascinating, honestly.
I know. I love to know the inner workings of it and how it thrives.
I'm definitely not polyamorous, but it's interesting that
couldn't be me, but also want to know how it works for you.
What's weird is like it couldn't be me, not from the fact that I would be jealous of my partner, but just by the fact that like I think I would just like subconsciously choose one.
I wonder if they do though, and like the other one's cool with it.
I don't think so.
Or is it all very much equal? Let us know. Come through.
Please advise.
Come through. Okay,
but get into your first one.
Okay, so I guess I don't know which way to go. Like, are we talking before we get
mine
into
are all mixed up. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just preface that too. Like, we were talking before you dive into a relationship and as you're beginning a new one.
Yeah.
Here are some tips and tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you're entering in to a new relationship, my advice is also learn from your last relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. So like take what you will of that.
Yeah. Like fully process that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then use that to decide what you do want and don't want in your next relationship.
Yeah.
But anyway, so with that, don't seek acceptance in your new partner. You need to learn about yourself first. You need to accept that in yourself, or it won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because you really need to be okay with yourself before you move forward.
Yeah.
And that takes time. So,
yeah. I mean, if you follow that 3-month rule or whatever, and
I
spend that 3 months knowing yourself, knowing what you want, what you deserve. Sorry.
Okay. So here's my rule of thumb. If you're excited to take what you learned from your last relationship and you're excited to meet new people, odds are you're ready.
Yeah. I think the excitement out of that, like I'm excited to see how me as a person can fit into a relationship.
Can take what I've learned.
Yep.
Know what I want, what I don't want. And yeah, I think the excitement piece and like looking forward to meeting new people, not looking forward to dating because that's a whole other beast. But
yeah,
I feel like that's a good indicator that you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay, Rach, go ahead.
Okay, so mine is slow your roll. So this is for the person that has gotten out of a relationship, found themselves in a new one, maybe in an awkward time. Maybe you haven't done that 3-month thing. Maybe things are kind of soon, but like you feel wholeheartedly like you've met your person. Okay, so that new person, this is something like I'm speaking from experience that like I was very lucky that like my first date. So like I agreed to a date with Josh because I had known him before, because we went to high school together. That was why. I'd talked to all my friends and I was like, is it too soon? And my friends were all like, no, like just get out there, it'd be good. Like they were not like, yeah, go meet your soulmate. They were like, yeah, go out for drinks with someone
from high school.
Yeah.
Right. I remember it being like that would be good for you just to talk to someone, grab a beer with someone, like
just get in the dating game.
We thought it was good. Like. We really thought Josh would be good practice.
Yeah, he was a good practice run. I was like, because at least I know like we can talk about bullshit stuff and it won't be awkward or terrible. And it ended up being great, and it ended up being like we filled each other's cracks, and it was all of that kind of a thing. And so like I did get kind of ahead of myself, you know, like we said, I love you.
Shocker.
Really soon. I know.
Shocker from Rachel Roche.
I know. I'm a U-Haul lesbian in a straight relationship. It's real bad. Yeah, we just kind of totally got caught up in how good and compatible we were together. And I really loved how everyone loved him. Mm-hmm. And so I think like the first 6 months of our relationship, I was like, just like, we're going to get married this year. It almost felt like this very quick. And then I don't know whether it was like quarantine or what, but it just like, I just kind of woke up out of that like puppy love stuff. And I was like, slow your roll. Like, he's not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. And marriage, even if it's with the right person, does not just become easy out of like don't rush into something that like you don't need to rush into. And I think a lot of my like me being so gung-ho was coming from like I almost wanted to undo the last 7 years of my life. I almost wanted to be like, I didn't waste my time because it was all this journey just to find Josh, and now we're together, and now we can be together and start a family. But it was like, one, you're not ready for that. And we both realized after a while, like, we both need therapy. We both need to like figure out from like a basic level, like what we want out of life, like how we would raise children, like yeah, I just felt like me moving on, you know, in my immaturity at the time meant like you can undo all of this wasted time. But it wasn't wasted time, and I didn't really know that. But yeah, my like slow your roll in that, like just enjoy it. Like enjoy dating, enjoy the getting to know you stuff, enjoy the like traveling to new places together and the meeting each other's families and going to the Halloween parties, and like just live in dating for a while. I think especially if you're getting out of a marriage, it feels so anticlimactic to go back to dating. Like I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to not live with someone. Like we moved in fairly quickly and then moved in with my mom because of COVID. But like, I just didn't understand dating at all because I had never done it.
You hadn't had much experience.
None. Zero. Really.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, this happened. So, you know, again, I still really don't have a whole lot of experience. I have a lot of experience with relationships. Yeah. But like dating world, no. So yeah, just slow your roll, take some deep breaths, and just try to enjoy the time that you're in without like constantly focusing on where it's going. Just like enjoy your person. Don't just like enjoy the version of the future you've created in your head.
Right. Yeah, I had that. It was like take things easy and lighthearted at first. Mm-hmm. That was something I had said too. I guess if you haven't found your partner and you're still in the limbo, right? You're getting over things. You're on the dating sites. You're ready for it. I already said this. Never mind. I think it's important to be honest with your new partner about what's going on. So like, hey, don't like slam them with your ex, because I do feel like if you cannot refrain from talking about your ex on the first date, you're not ready to date. I do feel that way, because if you feel like that's like a point of conversation, that person's not out of your head. But I do feel like it's honest, like, hey, I just got out of a long-term relationship. It was really serious. I did take it hard, but I'm ready now. Like, I feel like that's important to communicate to your new partner. But just know that like if you're ready to kind of like shit talk them with the other person, like they're not there to hear that.
Yeah.
It's always a bad look, you know this, but if you ever catch yourself like doing it, you're like, oh shit, I'm not over it. You know, let me fall back a little bit and spend some more time with myself.
Yeah. My caveat with Josh, like when it was something I had to say, like kind of alternative to that, like coming from like a divorcee's mindset, was like my divorce wasn't finalized. So I basically said, I was like, if this is something that you're not comfortable with, like I don't even care to continue because I'm not going to feel guilty.
No.
You know, like I didn't need to talk about my ex all the time, but like there was obviously like very like the first 3 months of mine and Josh's relationship was like the finalizing of my divorce, and it was stressful and a lot of crying and a lot of just like outside of me and Josh stuff. It was like legal stuff. Like Jess was there. Jess was in the courtroom the first time my divorce was postponed
and the
due to
second
some
time
weird clerical error.
To speak on her character. I wish like they didn't prepare me for them. Like I didn't come with a speech to talk about my best friend's character, which is great by the way. I would love to, but I was like, so good.
Divorce is so weird. But
that's also something that in divorce is something Josh had to carry if you do start a new relationship, which and others, if you're not divorced, that you don't. Those don't really carry over as much.
Yeah.
So it's just something that's a difference in that.
Yeah. But I agree with the like, if you're still in the shit talking your ex stage,
fall back, dude.
Right. And I think that just shows like a level of immaturity to a standpoint. Like one of my red flags just for people in general is when they talk about someone like my bitch ex-wife or my bitch ex-husband, or then I'm like,
it didn't work out. Okay. I'm sure you're not an angel in the situation. Right. Like, takes two to tango.
Yeah.
Takes two to...
And it's like, if you're with an abusive ex-partner, it's like, that's different. But like, if you can't say one single good thing about someone you'd spent years with, like, I don't really have any time for you.
Right.
Like, lessons were learned. Like,
I think that's the biggest takeaway from it. It's like, yeah, you can have like bitter feelings, but I really think take what you can from it, learn from it, be better.
Yep.
Rise above.
Right. This one will apply to everyone, but this was just something that like I kind of say to people that I know. So take it with a grain of salt. Some people. Date women or people of your same sex or like outside of your normal
use
pool.
that time to experiment.
Yes. If it's within your sexuality spectrum,
sure.
Don't like mess around with anyone's feelings if you're just like, you know, figuring out. But like if you know like you're bi or like queer in any sense, like I'd encourage anyone to try out like dating women. I know that is something like that it's not like I'm sad because I found Josh. I found like really my perfect match, but like it is something that I'm kind of like, I'll always wonder like, oh, what would my dynamic be with a woman? Like just in a relationship, you know, who knows? Maybe your energy will align better with someone of the same sex. I'm just saying, if boobs don't turn you off, give it a try. Give it a go.
Stay open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing. A lot of people are, you know, we live in such a wild time. Me and my friends talk about like when we were in high school, like we weren't free to be bi. Like I was out to a few people, like my theater friends, and like that was about it. But like I was pretty much told that like liking girls was just like a fetish and it wasn't like a real valid thing. Mm-hmm. But this is 2012, you know?
Right.
Where now I feel like it is the topic of sexuality is so,
but it's also like about high school versus adulthood. I think
still like
I mean, we've progressed along. We've come a long way in this, but
I mean, when I was in high school, gay marriage wasn't even legal.
Right.
You know, like,
oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like the time.
Yeah, the time.
Passed. And also just like being in high school and you don't want that to be your identity.
Yeah. I remember being people. I like came out to my sister when I was in high school.
Really?
Because I was like really into a girl that I like had hooked up with a few times, and I was like confused, and I was pretty much told that like you have to be one thing or the other, and that like as a bi woman, like it wasn't real basically. Mm-hmm. It was just like you're confused until you figure it out, and I'm like, well, if I have to figure it out, like I'm probably gay.
Yeah, I mean, no one was there to explain that to you, or like that you could be both, that you could be this, like.
But then I went to college and dated another boy, and then got engaged to another boy, and got divorced from a boy, and started dating a boy. And, you know, all of those things are fine. And to me, like, my sexuality is like whatever you are, good, like,
yeah. You?
Yeah, I don't care.
Right.
Like, as far as like genitalia is not what attracts me to a person.
Mm-hmm.
But also in the dating world, I think, like, because I had just separated from my husband and never got to come out. Yeah. And so it was like the first person that asked me out was a man, and I love him. So.
Right. And you're in that relationship.
Tragically fell in love with another heterosexual white man.
Right.
You know, so that's just like date outside your normal spectrum. See what's out there. Experiment.
Do you.
Not with someone's heart,
but
with your sexuality. That's important.
With that, mine was like using that time to better yourself, which could be be taking time, which could be going to therapy. My
next one was getting therapy. So
those in between breakups were the most like crucial parts of my life. Like obviously, like the most growth. I feel like I had to spend time with myself, right? You have this one person who's like pumping on this dopamine and serotonin, and you're getting it all from them, and all of a sudden it gets cut off, and you're like, okay, where am I finding it? Like, what am I doing? So you have to, you know, learn to find it on your own. And so for me, I remember for a long time, it was like journaling. I know it sounds like bullshit stuff, but it was like, I'm going back, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to start working out again. And like, I don't know, if those moments, I feel like I felt very much myself. And I grew a lot individually. So I don't know. I know that sounds hard and, you know, may take a few weeks and a lot of Ben and Jerry's to get to that point of bettering yourself. But
yeah, if you are not comfortable to be by yourself, you are not ready to be in a relationship, because stripped down, like, that person is in a relationship with you. Like, you need to be secure in who you are, because the foundation of your relationship can't be your mutual codependence on one another. Like, you have to be the fullest version of yourself. And that is so critically important. And if you don't take the time to figure out who that person is and where you want that person to go, then, you know, your relationship might be pretty wobbly. Not that you can't work on yourself when you're already in a relationship.
No.
It's so much healthier, I think, to take that time.
I do too. I really feel the most like biggest moments of my life were like during those in between times where I felt like I was hitting rock bottom, but I took a step to do something for myself. It's like, it's a big moment. So I encourage everyone to, if you go through a breakup, to have that time to yourself, because what did I write? Relationships won't heal you and being single won't kill you.
Yeah. Did you come up with that?
Yeah, girl.
You came up with that? You didn't find that on Pinterest?
No, dude. No, I really thought about it because I was like,
come here.
I know.
I'm going to make that a TikTok.
Okay.
That's so good.
Thank you. But I felt like that was just really true, though. Like, those don't define you. Neither one of them do. So just be you.
Just be you. And yeah, I mean, my bullet point one was get in therapy. If you can afford it, you know, I know therapy is expensive, and I mean, I have to pay out of pocket for my therapy, but like, I cannot understate. I always feel like I'm just like the therapy police. Like, go to therapy, be in therapy. Are you in therapy yet?
But it's so good.
You need it. Like, there is,
and you
so
don't
much
have
shit.
to be clinically insane for therapy.
No, there's so much shit that you don't know what you're holding. Like, I think one of Josh's burdens was like, I got in therapy when Josh and I, like, before Josh and I had started dating, before I found my Catherine, my wonderful Quine therapist. But I was this counselor was more like my crisis counselor of like, I'm getting divorced and like dealing with like a lot of like traumatic shit in those months that I had to do that. But dating Josh was triggering. Like, some of it was like good triggers in that like we would be doing something like traveling, like we went to Boston, and travel was like a huge trigger for like me and my ex, with where we couldn't, like, it was just so stressful, like getting on a plane, packing, like it was just like all this stuff where like I couldn't even enjoy the trip. And then it was like I was dating Josh and I was like, holy shit. like life can be easy. And like it was so helpful for me to then like unpack that with my therapist, because it was like, wow, like I was really in a toxic, like not serving myself at all relationship for so long, and I didn't even know that it was wrong. I didn't even know that it was.
But it's so nice when that therapist brings something to light and you're like, you just rocked my world.
Yeah. They say like one thing and you're like, all right.
And it's also the pause after you answer a question for me. Like waiting for me to say more. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, I will. Okay, word vomit, you know. And it's good. I don't know.
Yep. We both kind of touched on each other's throughout this, which was nice, led for easy conversation.
Right.
But I'll do one more. I have two more, but they're very open-ended. Establish from the very beginning, if you're in a new relationship, if you're seeing someone regularly and you're like, you know, maybe you've said boyfriend, girlfriend, and you've put a title on it. Establish communication and honesty in your new relationship at the very beginning, and make sure you are free to talk about your past trauma and relationship. Josh and I would not be together if he was not okay with this. And communication was really hard. Not really hard, but like it was very new to Josh. Like just verbal communication where you're not yelling, or like toxic fights. Like he had never been in a relationship where it was like, no, we're just going to like talk about this on the couch normally. He was like, oh,
this is how it works.
I mean, he caught on quick. He's a quick learner. But I just like, it is so important to feel safe and heard and respected, and to not feel like your past is a burden on your partner. And there have been a lot of times where like I felt like that. Like I felt like I was a burden, but that was me projecting onto myself. Right. Josh never ever made me feel that way. And your partner should never make you feel that way. Like you are where you are and you have the journey you've had. And if someone isn't ready for that responsibility of like holding you when you're feeling shitty or when you're being triggered, like that's something like I realized, like, I mean, a while ago when you and Joe talked about getting in a fight, and I was like, why do you think you feel so triggered by this? Talk about a past relationship. And you were like, oh yeah, I guess that's why.
Yeah, I was like, oh, every time that we would have a fight, we would break up. And I was like, well, that makes sense every time. That's why I suck at confrontation, because I think I'm avoiding it because I think Joe and I are going to break up, and that's not even close to what's going to happen. So it was like,
but it doesn't stop your like,
no,
your
but it's
trauma
like
instincts from being like
your subconscious, like triggering it and kind of clicking in and taking over without you knowing. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. So yeah, those are those.
Those are our advice. We really dove deep, but I do have some questions.
Okay, let's.
And these are totally subjective, and these are just kind of fun for Rach and I feel like. Okay, is it okay to like your ex's posts on social media?
No.
No. Okay, but also, so Joe dated this girl all through high school, and they're like, and they both can see each other. She has kids now. She's married. Obviously, we're married.
Okay.
And so Joe's like, what a cute family. You know, I'm happy for Katie.
Yeah.
And so he likes it, you know, which is fine. He's like, it just depends on the other person too. Because I thought about this. If you like their post and if that gives them some type of, ooh, maybe they want to get back. If you think that would give them those thoughts, don't like it.
I think what's different now is like Joe and her are in their 30s, and they were literally children when they were dating. Children, 16, right? Like 16 years old.
Sure.
You're children. Not that like there aren't like lasting feelings that can linger, but like I think that is one thing. But like,
do you think it sends a hidden message?
I think it can. I don't think I would say like if we're doing a blanket statement rule, no. There are exceptions to that rule, I'm sure. If both people are on the same page, if both people have moved on, if both people were friends before they dated, you know, like I think that did they break up because of anything weird, or was it just like we were going to different colleges, like
right. Subjective,
but like
you're saying no.
Okay. I'm saying no. Like, and I like have positive feelings towards my high school sweetheart, but I couldn't like it's not that kind of a thing.
I text my high school sweetheart happy birthday every year.
Don't do that. That's weird.
I know.
We did that for probably like,
but I just like years, I'm like wonder if he'll text back. It's a nice gesture for me. It's a simple text, no response ever. It's just a quick little. I like birthdays though, but that doesn't. And also, I just remember it.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but this was something funny when Josh and I first started dating. Like we met in high school, reconnected 9 years later, and I had like a stable high school sweetheart. And one of the things he had asked me was like, he basically like he knew how I felt about Dave, and he knew that was not right. But he was like, "But are you still over Ryan?"
Wait, he genuinely asked you?
Because like the last time he had seen me, I was in love with someone else. Like that's the only person he'd ever seen me be in love with.
That's funny.
And I was like,
yes. That ship has sailed.
That ship has sailed, believe it or not. Got married to someone else.
Right. Since then. Haven't seen this dude in years. So.
Right. But it was just one of those cute, like,
aw. Like, no, dude.
No, I wish that I mean, in some way, I wish that like me and my high school sweetheart could have what Joe and Katie have, but
I know.
No, I just don't think so.
Same.
That's a no for me.
Learned that this weekend, but that's another story.
Oh.
What should you do if you have a nude picture of an ex?
I've never
delete the fuck out of it. Are you kidding? Also, please let that other person know that you deleted it.
Yeah.
Common courtesy.
Yeah.
We're living in the age of sexting, and
I've never sent a sext. I've never sent one.
I could say the same. Mortified.
I sent like a suggestive snap.
Cute. Well, Snap. Well, I guess people don't send nude pics anymore because of Snap. But back in my day,
oh yeah,
when I was in a relationship. Yeah. So
yeah,
I think it's
with your LG scoop.
Yeah, with my chocolate, my LG chocolate. That was pixelated as hell. That shit was grainy as all hell.
The nipples had no definition.
You couldn't really see. So if you still have them, you're welcome.
Please delete it. I don't want to. I don't.
No, that is an easy question. Like, don't ever. Also, like, for the sake of what? Like, embarrassment to the other person. Like, you're a bully for that. Sorry. Just don't. And also, if you want to look at it, something wrong with you.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you. I also just don't understand nude photos. I don't get the appeal of it. Like, I always think it's funny, like, watching, like, videos or TikToks of, like, girls that are, like, sexting boys.
And they're, like,
and they're just in their sweats, and they're just sending stuff from their, like, private camera rolls.
Yep.
Like,
I know.
It's like, what the fuck?
Like, recycled old photos.
Yeah.
Funny. Okay. How quickly do you change your Facebook status?
Oh.
Long pause.
Well, I mean,
I guess, okay, married versus, we could do this, being married in a relationship versus just being like in a relationship, just a regular. Both come with some things to think about. I feel like when you're ready to tell the world, it's like you tell your friends, you tell your family.
Oh, yeah. Like,
and I feel like it's okay to kind of pull the social trigger.
I mean, people know. As soon as you change your last name to your middle name on Facebook, the world fucking knows.
Everyone knows.
There's like everybody knows. Like, I think I kind of got away with it because I changed it to like my business name. So like my name is Rachel Elizabeth. My business name is Rachel Beth. And so I think I kind of got away with it because I had like rebranded at the same time. But still, it's like I deleted photos. It's like it's fucking people know.
Yeah.
Like I'm really creepy, and it's like, oh, that person I went to high school with hasn't posted a photo with their person in 2 weeks. Wonder what's going on. And then it's like, ooh. But I also, like, my other thing was like I just took down my relationship status as a viewable option.
I think that's what people are doing now, so that it's like you don't have to go through the humiliation of like we're not in a relationship, and then everyone being like, do people like, what do people like it? Do you comment? So
do you remember in high school, like, or like college, I guess, I didn't have a Facebook. Oh, I did in high school. But like when you would like take down your relationship, you'd feel a need to like say something about it.
But my petty ass would have been like, bye. Like I would be like immediately, like you said, we're broken up. Fine, I'll let the world know. But like, God. What do you say?
Do you remember
call me if you need anything? What?
Remember the ruthlessness of the MySpace top 8?
Ooh. Friendships were ruined. Relationships were done.
I just went to handles with Morgan, so she's at number 1. Nuri, you're down there. Kristen's at number 3.
Man, that was bad for MySpace to do.
Like, what was that about?
I was more into the music though. Like, if you pull up a page, they got a good aesthetic, and then a dope song plays. I'm like, I don't care about the top 8. This is legit. But yeah, I feel like.
Do you think there are still people that have MySpace? Like, is MySpace still up? Is it still
I know
useful?
that there's emo kids out there that are still loving it. I mean, I see them on TikTok. Like, people love nostalgia, and MySpace is so nostalgic. And I think it is still out there. I don't think people use it as much.
What if,
but I think
instead of us getting a website, we just got a MySpace for the podcast?
We should. I'll be in charge of the music. You be in charge of the top 8.
Is everybody ready for that kind of commitment? Remember how we used to have to code. We have to use coding for our backgrounds.
Dude, we had to really be coders for MySpace. Holy shit. Yeah, the top 8 was ruining friendships. Like, did you see that I moved down?
Oh my God.
Especially on your crushes page when you made it up to 8, you know?
Back on other early 2000s bullshit, which probably might still happen now, was when you used to like, you didn't know you were on a 3-way call with someone, and then
that's never happened.
One of your friends would have you like shit talk the other friend, and they'd be
That's
there.
not mean girl. That's mean girl shit. That's never happened to me. Believe it or not.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, you don't answer the phone, Jess.
I do not. Don't call me ever. I'll text you back and be like, what do you want? Did it again.
That is my favorite laugh that Jess does when I make a TikTok.
Oh my God.
I made a TikTok where she had that laugh, and like when you have to subtitle TikToks, it takes forever, and you have to listen to the thing on repeat. So I listened to Jess's laugh 100 times. It made me laugh every time.
It was really funny, and I don't laugh at myself much, but it was a funny laugh. But I just did it again. I think that's funny.
Oh,
okay.
Oh my God.
Next question. Should you wait to post about your new partner out of respect for your former partner? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think if you hit the classic 3-month, go for it. If you feel, I don't know, just you know the partner that you were with, and like, even if things were shitty, just don't be a shitty person, you know? Like, out of respect for them and for your relationship that you had, like...
Yeah.
Be respectful. I feel like you know. You know better than anyone, so it's like there's no rule to that, but I don't think, like, immediately...
Well, it doesn't show maturity if you're just, like...
even if you were, like, cheating and, like, 2 days later, it's like, we're together, it's like, that's not a good look.
No.
On you.
It's not cute.
And this is the last question.
Okay.
Should you steer clear of social media altogether, or should you unfollow his or her friends?
I say yes.
Unfollow the fam, unfollow the...
Yeah, I mean, I think that is also very dependent on, like, if you guys were friends before, if it, like, there are obviously some relationships that, like, there was just natural, like, cross friendships. But in my case, like, it is sad, but, like, we could make a clean break because, like, we didn't really have any mutual friendships. So we had a few, but, like, they were able to take sides, and it was easy to just, like... I mean, block. Like, I had to block everyone.
With that, say for a relationship, though, not for a marriage, do you block the ex?
Yeah, I mean, but this is why you have to ask. What can you get out of their relationship? What could you get out of friendship?
How bad was the breakup? Like, if it was a good old mooch sitch.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, cool. Like, I'd like to see your life from afar. But if it's too hard, if it hurts the heart.
Yeah, if it's not good for your heart, don't do it. And if it's not good for their heart either, it's like sometimes, like, especially if like you've moved on and you know like your ex hasn't or they're struggling, block them. Like, save them from the like deep dives.
Okay, here's the thing about people is that you can block them. You'll find your way.
I know if they're really
stalk the shit out of them. You find it.
I know. I mean, on a real note, like, I do struggle, like, now that Dave is back in town, like, I really hate not knowing, like, where is he? What's he doing?
Well,
like,
because you can literally run into him, like, at the grocery store.
Oh, I will
at the
vomit.
gas station.
I'll vomit everywhere. And it won't be like a tycoon kind of cleanup situation.
I would immediately drop everything in my hand and run. Like, gotta go. Gotta jet.
I know. I had clients, like potential clients, be like, "Yeah, we should meet at this brewery."
You're like, nope,
I
know he's
I
there.
used to work at, and he still has mutual friends there. And I'm like, well, no.
Chances are high that I'd see him.
The percentage goes up if I go back there.
Right.
So it's a no zone.
It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, those are all the questions I have. I feel like those are good ones, though. I feel like they're modern day. What do you do?
Yeah.
You know, which I feel like a lot of people ask themselves, like, what are the rules? And like, we aren't giving you any rules. I just thought it was fun from like our perspective.
Yeah. I think like bottom line, focus on yourself.
Yeah. I feel like that's what you could take away.
Yeah. Like number one thing is like focus on yourself, get yourself right, get a good therapist.
Right, get it tight.
Get right. I know that one. Get it right. Get it right. Get it tight.
Oh my gosh, yes. See, go see a therapist.
Yeah.
Go
find your joy outside of a person.
Yes, I promise you, because you also will sound so much more interesting when you're meeting people. You know what I used to do? I used to, like, when I spent time by myself when I was dating, going on not Tinder, I wasn't on Tinder, Bumble. When I was on Bumble for a while, I had to like look up questions about, and I had to learn a lot about myself to talk about myself. So, you don't know your hobbies, but like you have to know them if you're talking to someone who's interested in them. Like, you want to make yourself so interesting, but also stay true to you. Like, don't misrepresent yourself, because then you're just creating a facade and a lie for the other person. But just do a lot of soul searching. Start Q&A yourself. Like, you got to know a lot more about yourself when you're entering a new relationship, because
a relationship is half of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, it is.
It is. We're all coming up with these. We gotta get on Pinterest.
I mean, I probably have heard that quote somewhere, but
I'm saying it's you. I'm saying you came here first.
What is that?
Your wisdom is unmatched, Jessica.
It is not. It is mediocre at best. So thank you for listening.
Yes.
Yeah,
we've
blanked. Done for.
The uterus is bleeding.
It is. It's a blank head up here.
But yeah, we have.
Just forgive me. Forgive me.
We have a lot of good episodes coming up.
We do. We're super stoked about some stuff. We got some guests coming.
Great guests.
Stay tuned about information about those. You aren't going to want to miss them. Please subscribe, like, love.
Yeah. Watch our YouTube, because I'm putting a lot of time into it, everyone.
It's just really working her ass off.
Yeah. I was told by a lot of blogs that I need to be on YouTube.
So we're on YouTube and we have 18 subscribers. So step it up, fam.
Subscribe.
Okay.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that's
Have you
enough.
had enough
we
today?
can be done.
Oh, it's time to go to yoga.
Yeah, we're going to yoga today.
We're going to Power Sculpt, my favorite yoga in the world. Jessica's gonna struggle and sweat with me.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna do it together, and it'll feel good.
A little bit of bonding. After our wonderful podcast airing. Okay, we're so awkward. I hate ending these things.
Thank you guys so much. We love you. Tune in next week.
Yeah, we'll see you on flip-flop. Bye.
Oh my God. We'll see you on the flip. We suck at goodbyes. I don't know how we do it.